Yeah, cool. Thank you, Jack. So what we did was, first of all, we made sure that we have the correct drivers. We downloaded the jar files. We added them to the properties, and under Java build path, we made them available inside the libraries, right? Yeah, that's where we added those external jars. And then we also added them under WebINF lib. So every time you need to do this, you need to add those items if they disappear. Did they disappear for you guys too?
Mine are there.
Yours, okay. You probably, since I've been working with multiple workspaces, I've had stuff. So let me add the external jars.
Now my create table doesn't work. It won't load anything. I'm not sure if that was the case during class or not.
I'm just adding them again, just in case, and I will just drag them and drop them on my lib folder. So basically, these two jar files have the classes we need. So the driver for AS400 JDBC driver is one of the classes. That's why right at the top, line number 4 is where we are importing the com.ibm.as400.access package, and we're bringing in all the classes from the package. And then after that, and we also incorporated java.sql package. And in the try block, we have the driver object for AS400 JDBC driver class that we declared on line 13. We are instantiating it on line 17. Line number 18, we are loading the driver manager with the driver object. And on line number 19, we are creating the JDBC AS400 bridge. The JDBC AS400 bridge then allows us to talk to the deathstar.gtc.edu. And do you guys remember why I put prompt equals to true?
Say again?
Why did I put prompt equals to true on line 19?
Is it so it pops up the prompt to log in to the Death Star?
Exactly. And then on line number 22, we are using that URL to establish the connection object on the driver manager.connection method. And line number 23 is where we create our statement object so that we can run the SQL statements. So from there onwards is mostly the same stuff that we learn in JDBC. So on line number 24, I declare my string SQL. Line number 26 is my try block. The whole reason of this try block is to make sure that the table doesn't already exist. So we simply run a select command on the table that I'm about to create. If the table that I'm about to create exists, line number 28 will work and will not error out. Line 28 will error out if the table doesn't exist. So line number 28, I'm taking my statement object and I'm executing the query. What query am I executing? The one that's stored in the string object SQL. It runs the SQL query and it pushes the result of that in the result set, only if that table exists, even if it's empty. If the table doesn't exist, then line 28 errors out, and we jump to line number 32 in the catch block, where we create our query for the table, and then we execute the update command, which runs the SQL to create the table, and then we say the table was created successfully. So in this one example, we get to see two different methods of statement object. One is execute query and the other one is execute update. Execute query method is used only and only if you're using select command. For insert, update, delete, create, you will use execute update method. So that was the example that we did. Again, you know, if I were to run this example, which is my create table example, where'd that go? Did I put it in a different place or what? Oh, you're right. Thank you. Yep. Oh, that's why I was not able to see my jar files. Thank you. Let me make sure that they're there in this behind the scene. Okay, cool. Okay, so create table. Here we go. So if I run this again on server, since we were able to create this before, it should now tell me that the table already exists after I log in. See, it tells me the table already exists. So this is what we did last time. Okay, so I see that everybody is in V2 Cloud and has open Eclipse. Jacklear, are you also caught up? Yep, okay, cool. Okay, so now, last time we completed home.jsp. So let me run this home.jsp. What did we say? What will happen when I run home.jsp? Will it run home.jsp?
Send you to the login.
It will send you to the login, right? Exactly. And why? Because home.jsp says that my source code is only available if somebody came through the proper channel. If you did not come through the proper channel, which is login, then you cannot access. So if I come through a proper channel, then I can visit the homepage. Okay. So far, so good. Now, these are the 4 pages we will be building today. The insert, update, delete, select. Once we build these 4 pages, your project is complete. Okay. So we will save as the home page. So let's go to the home.jsp and let's save it as insert.jsp. It is the home.jsp that I'm saving as insert.jsp. Okay. So far, so good, everybody. Remember, we already built in our navigation. So if you go to sitenav.html, we already have insert, update, delete, select. All of those are already there. So as we build these pages, the navigation will become live. Right now, the home page and the insert look exactly the same. I can just change the title to insert page. The whole idea behind insert page is I should be able to insert data into my table that I created. Okay. Now, this is where I will be building my entire page on line 20. As long as the user has come through a proper session, only then I will be building the rest of the information. So this is a form. And we will create this JSP page called insert.jsp. How many fields do we have in our table?
Six?
4.
Oh, and the other one.
Yeah, so it's course ID, course name, credits, and description. 4. Okay, so let's copy this and paste it 3 more times. Course ID, course name. Oh, I forgot one thing. It should be a field set here. That's why Legend was complaining, because we cannot use Legend without field set. I think we also learned about post back forms, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is an example of a postback form. Why it's an example of a postback? Because notice the form will submit itself back to insert.jsp, which is the same page. So it's a postback implementation. So on line number 32, we will start declaring variables which will receive the values coming from a form. So which JSP object is used to receive the form data? No. Session is not for forms. Session is for sessions. Which JSP object is used to get the form data? Request. Okay. Which method of request? Get parameter. And then you write the name of the parameter inside the quotes, which is the name of the form element, as you can see from line 23. So we will need 4 total string objects, 1 for each form element. So lines 32 through 35 will always run, but we will not run the database part if they are null. So I need to write an if condition over here to check to see that they're not null, right? So I'll write an if condition here to make sure that they're not null. So what code should I write within the curly braces or within the parentheses?
If CID
Mm-hmm.
does not equal null and then CNAME does not equal
Yes.
null.
Yes. once everybody is done with this code, there'll be some copy pasting I would have to do from the create table example because we already wrote some of this code once. Why reinvent the wheel, right? And I'm pretty sure you guys don't like typing. I don't like typing.
You don't?
I don't,
But you're so fast at it.
but I don't like typing.
I think my typing speed has increased like double since taking this class.
Same.
Why? Alan doesn't make you guys write code this much?
Oh no. Maybe like a 10th.
So the first thing we need to bring are the import statements. So in the create table example, if you scroll up to the top, you had a couple of imports. We can copy those and we can paste them at the right at the top of this code as well. The two imports. Once we are done with that, we will now start to add some database code that we wrote specifically in the create table. And that was more or less like related to the AS400, the connection, you know, all of that stuff. So for now, from AS400, driver null all the way through string SQL equals to null, this code. Okay. And paste it here. You know what we were gonna do next is remember the login page we had? We were asking user to enter a username and a password, right? On the login page. Just to stop this annoyance of having to supply IBM username and password on every page, we will just enter our IBM username and password right on the login page. And we will then fill up our user and the pass variables with that information coming from the session. Okay. So the session variables are anyway accepting username and a password. We will rather enter our IBM username and password, the ITPA username and the password right at the login screen. And that's what will be stored in the session variable. And we will just simply tap onto that session variable every time we need to talk to the database, saving us from having to fill in that little tiny box that pops up on every page. So now we will write, we'll call the session objects get attribute. And what were the names of my session variables? Okay. No. Yeah, username and password. Okay. So username and password. And then on line number 49, I will use this username and password. So make sure you change on line 46 the prompt to false. And then on line 47 and 48, make these modifications. And also on line 49. I know you're having this error on line 51 because I never closed the try block. So whenever you are done with lines 46 through 49, then you can close the try block and then put the catch. Let me clear your feedback and give me a new feedback whenever everybody is caught up with this code. So since this is an insert command, which statement method should I use? Execute query or execute update?
Query.
Query is only used for select command. So for all other commands we use execute update. So it'll be execute update. Okay. So statement object dot execute update. I know I still need to write the SQL. Okay, oops. This is where I will write my SQ command. It go on multiple lines, so that's why I have 2 lines. So who remembers how to write insert commands?
Insert from whatever table you're trying to update, and then the date.
I will stop you here. The first part you correct. You're right. You told me correct. Insert. But after that, you did not say anything. You did not say it right after insert. Insert what? What goes after the command insert? Yep, Oscar got it. Insert into, not from. Okay, insert into, and then the table name. What was our table name? Course Project 22A. And then we start with the word values. Then we start listing our values. So that's why I have the open parentheses here, and I have the close parentheses on the next line, because I will be putting in the values between the two. All values have to be separated by comma, as Oscar put it in the chat. And all values, except for the last value, will have a comma after it, because the comma is inserted between the values. If the value is a date value or a character value, it is enclosed in single quotes. If it is a number value, then it is not enclosed in single quotes. Out of all the fields we got, do we have any number value?
The credits, there's an integer.
Exactly. So 3 values will go in quotes. 1 value will go without quotes. Okay. And also, all the values are coming from variables or objects. So we have to do a lot of concatenation here. So we'll start out with a single quote. Concatenate between the 2 single quote the very first variable. What is that? CID, right? CID. Then you close the single quote for the CID. So this is the start of the quote, end of the quote. Between the quotes, you have the CID value that is coming from the user. Because even though it's a string, but in order for you to put that value in the database, the value of type string still need to be enclosed in quotes. That's how the database knows that it's a string value. Okay. So write this much. Now I'm going to build the remaining piece. Each value has to be separated by a comma. So as soon as I close the single quote for CID, I put a comma, and I start my next single quote, which is for my next field, which is the course name, CNAME. So I concatenate that with CNAME, and then I close the single quotes for CNAME. CID is in single quotes, comma, CNAME is in the single quotes. Comma. The credits doesn't have to be in single quotes. And the last field will also be in single quotes. Which is the description field. DESC. Oh, I used plus twice. That's why it's complaining. I will clear your feedbacks again so that you guys can give me the new feedbacks. Then there is one more copy paste that we need to do. This time, the copy paste will be done from login.html. Go to login.html and right at the top of the login.html, you will find the properties, CSS properties for field set, legend, and label. Copy those. And then in the insert.jsp, scroll up to the top and in the style, paste it. So you will copy the field set, the legend, and label from the top of your login.html and you will paste it in insert.jsp. Jack Lear, you also got it? Okay. Jack, is the water cold? Hey. Ooh. Your avatar must be freezing.
Especially with how cold it is today.
Yeah, it was pretty cold today. Made you feel like you're in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Next, we will start the process from login.html. Oh, Jordan, I should have said made you feel like you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, I wish.
Okay, so now when you are in the username and password, this is where I want you to enter your IBM username and IBM password.
It's gonna be 72 where I lived before tomorrow. 72.
Wow. So you enter your IBM username and password and you hit login. And it will take you to the homepage. That's where you can click insert when you're on the homepage. And it will load the form for you. Let's make sure that everybody has made it this far. Then we will enter some basic course information like, let's say 152-141. Oh, sorry, it's only 150. I'll just do 152.14. Course name, let's say Java programming, credits 3, course description, object-oriented programming with Java 1, just entering basic information. Here's the real test, right? We got to click insert course information and it should tell me 1 record inserted successfully. And oops, did I misspelled? Or course ID was too long. What did I say course ID should be? My bad. Oh, 4. Okay, that's where I made a mistake. Okay, let me go back. And I don't know why I made it 6. I should probably lock it at 4 max length. Okay, let me try again. Let me refresh this page because I made the change, and let me try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Java 1, 3 credits. OOP with Java 1. And let me insert the course information. Here you go. It went through successfully. Let me try adding one more. 1, 2, 3, 3. C#, 3 credits. .NET Programming 1, insert. And that also went through. So I have 2 records inserted successfully. Everybody got this going?
Yep.
Okay. Now the next thing to test this, leave it running. We will build our select.jsp, and then we will just simply click on the select link after that. And that should show us all our data that we have entered. So let's build that. So let's go to insert.jsp and save it as select.jsp. Insert.jsp saved as select.jsp. After that, we will scroll down. We do not need the form, so we can just simply delete the form. And we can simply delete these 2 scriptlets because we can just continue with the same scriptlet, right? So we can just delete the 2 extra scriptlets. Since we do not have form in this example because it's only showing the output, we do not need all of the CSS, the field set, the legend, and the label, we can delete that too. Just leave the H1 there for now.
Is it possible to use a separate CSS?
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
this?
Yeah, I'm not doing a very heavy CSS, so I'm not doing that. But definitely,
Right.
you can use
I
an
was trying it
external.
earlier and it was
Yeah.
giving me problems. That's what I was wondering.
You can use an external CSS, and you got to link it with link tag. Then we will scroll down to where our SQL command is. We will not be running an insert command. Rather, it will be a select command. So we'll be doing select star from, and our table is course project 22A. Okay. Since it's a select command, what method should I use with statement object?
Query.
Execute query. And the result of that will be held inside a special class object called result set. So result set will hold the incoming data from the database. I do not need this guy. Now I will close my scriptlet and open it again. And in between, I will write some HTML. Don't worry about the close table tag. When we get to that point, we will close it. Which will be within the try block, but before the catch within the curly braces. So when we get there, we'll work with that. So this is pure HTML stuff. That's why I'm doing it outside of the scriptlet. And in the scriptlet, I will only do what needs to be done with JSP, which is constantly displaying one record at a time from the result set, which I will do right here. While result set dot next, as long as result set holds the data. So I have the open and close TR. Within the open and close TR, I will use a TD open close, just like that. And I will use my result set object to display one field at a time by using the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Are all 4 of my fields strings?
Nope.
No. So what I will do is for now, I'll just copy paste this 3 more times. But I know that my second field is a string The third one is an integer. So I'll just change it to get int. And fourth one is a string, just like that. And outside of the loop, I will close my scriptlet, start it again. And this is where I will close my table tag. Just like that. Oh, when did we lose Jack Lair? So for those of you who are done, you can move on to the running HTML, the running JSP page that you already had it running, and simply click on the select link. Okay, now this is, let me refresh. It's not working, huh? Insert home select. Let me double check what's going on here. Select star, statement.execute query. Oh, you're right. Thank you very much. I do not need to check for no, for that. Did I not remove that already? Oh, here, you're right. I don't need this. You're right. Line 27. I don't need this. I don't need any of this. You're right. Okay, so I will remove that. And then I would have to remove one curly brace. So line number 20. Probably this guy needs to go away. Here you go. Yeah. So I had to remove one curly brace. And that was right after the catch. So that curly brace, right after the catch. Right after closing the catch, an extra curly brace that needs to go away. Thank you, Oscar. So after that, when I click on select, so if I go back to insert and I enter another course name, and come back to select, now I have 3 classes.
Can you scroll back up where you set up like the headers and stuff for the no, for the table? Where you had course data and then the section name stuff. Thank you.
Okay. So as you guys saw already, the 2 pages that we put together are fairly simple, very close in terms of the code. Some of the code is a repeat code, some of the code is a new code. Delete, on the other hand, is a slightly complicated operation than insert or select. And update will be the most complicated of all 3 of them, all 4 of them. So we're going to first do delete, then we'll do update. So with delete, the reason it's a little bit more complicated is because what we want to make sure is that we are not giving the user a choice of putting in whatever code number the user wants. Rather, we want to give the user a pre-populated drop-down box, and that pre-populated drop-down box will be populated with course IDs that are coming from the database. So that every time a course is removed or a new course comes in, that will automatically be updated. Does everybody follow that part? Okay, so now we will go back to insert. Do not close select, leave the select open because we will need some code from select as well. So go to insert.jsp, open it. And save it as delete.jsp. So insert.jsp is getting saved as delete.jsp. Now, in the delete.jsp, we will keep the CSS properties. We'll see which ones we want to remove afterwards. But I think for the most part, we'll be keeping them. So let's scroll down to where it says form, and we will be submitting it back to delete.jsp, because every time the user will click an option from the drop-down box and hit submit, we want to submit it back to the same page. So we're going to call this one course delete form, and course ID is the only label there. And we're going to be delete course button, course ID, and there's not going to be an input box. Rather, we'll have a drop-down box, which will be pre-populated with stuff. So the drop-down box will be a select. We're going to give it a name of CID for course ID. So let me know when you guys have built this much. Let me clear the feedbacks to get the new feedbacks. And this is where we need to write the database code, which will be contacting the database, and we'll be bringing in data, and we'll be filling in the drop-down box. So we'll just use the scriptlets. Okay. Oh, I'm waiting for Josh to give me an okay, and Victor. Okay. Now let's scroll down and we'll copy some of this code. All this code you have here, the SQL, right above the SQL, just copy from AS400 to right above the SQL. On the same page, scroll down and copy these lines and paste them in the scriptlet right here. Likewise, scroll down and copy the closing try block and the catch. Copy that and scroll back up and paste that. So we have a try block and a catch block. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to bring the course ID only from the table. So what kind of SQL statement should I write to only bring the course ID from the table?
Select course ID. From...
Exactly. So let me go to the select.jsp and let me copy for now these two lines. string SQL and result set, and paste it here and change the asterisk to course ID. So only bringing in one field. While result set dot next I want to grab that course ID, result set dot get string one means the one field, which is the course ID field. And then I want to push that into my drop-down box. If you remember from your HTML times, we use option, value, and also remember, when somebody picks an option from the drop-down box, it is not the text that gets to be displayed in the drop-down box that goes to the server. It is the value that goes to the server. So that's why I am putting the value of the course ID in the value in single quotes. Also, I'm putting the same course ID between the open and close option tag, and because that is the course ID that'll be displayed to the user. So what this code will do, the top part, is that when the form loads, the form will load with only one drop-down box and a button. The drop-down box will be pre-populated with all the course IDs that have already been entered in the table. Okay, let me know when you guys are done with this code, and then I will scroll down and we will start making modification to what happens when you hit the button and you are to delete the course. How does that logic works? Because this program will have two SQL statements. One to select the course ID to populate the drop-down box. The other SQL statement to grab the course ID, put it into a delete instruction, and only delete that course from the database. Okay, I'm just waiting for Josh and Cole. Okay. So now we'll scroll down, and as you know that in my form, I don't have CNAME, credits, or description. I can delete that. All I need to make sure that if CID is not equals to null, since I already declared these objects up top, that's why just complaining. Why are you redeclaring it? So delete it. Now the real thing starts from line number 74. What is the delete instruction or the delete command? SQL delete command.
Not really sure, but is it delete from course project 22A?
Yes. It is delete from. And if I stop here, then everything will be deleted. So I got to use the where clause, where course ID equals to, and single quotes, so delete from the table where course ID equals to, and the course ID in single quotes. One record deleted. I mean, usually you don't want to display, you don't have to unless you want to display line 76. Rather, the better approach would be here, instead of saying that one record updated or deleted successfully, instead of doing that, we can simply reload this page. And that way the user can confirm in the drop-down box if the item was deleted. How do you reload a page? Response dot send redirect to delete dot JSP. So the top part allows us to populate, the bottom part allows us to delete the selected course ID. Now to put this to test, you will go back here and you will now click in the delete link. And you'll see that it is pre-populated with all the course IDs that you inserted in the database. Let me choose 33333 and hit delete course. It comes back and notice 333 is gone. I can also click the select link to make sure 3333 is gone. Okay, So did everybody get the insert, select, and delete operation running? And very similar to these, you will apply in your project. And of course, you can always make it a little bit more than what I'm giving you here. I'm just giving you the bare basics, you know.
And for our final, we'd do the create table as well. Just make a different table type thing.
Well, yeah, and you don't have to do it through JSP. You could just do it directly by going to the DB2 and writing the create command there. I just
Right.
showed you as a test.
Okay.
Yeah. That how JSP can also do that.
Now, outside of these 6 pages, do you need more in the final?
No.
I know you have it listed. I just pulled up right now.
No. That's it. Log in, log out, insert, update, delete, select.
Awesome.
And as you probably are already seeing that it's not very complicated process.
No.
And again, you know, you can make it complicated depending on the nature of the project, but the bare basic idea is the same.
Do we
Do you
have
know
to
how-
use that driver?
Say it again.
Do we have to use it on V2?
Yes, yes, you have to build your project on the V2 because of the DB2. You won't be able to talk to DB2 from your local computer.
I'm sure I can Google it. Do you know a way to insert an image into a table?
In DB2,
Or from like a HTML into DB2?
I may have to double check how, because it has to be in a binary form.
Okay.
Yeah, to make it easier, what you can do is you can save as a text file the URL,
Oh, right.
and then you can display that URL and automatically grab the image from that URL or that path in your project.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, we're going to take a break here. And then after the break, we're going to be looking at update, because update will be done in 2 separate files. And I'll explain to you when we come back from the break. So let's meet back at 7:20, and then we're going to look at the update operation, and that will close, complete this whole process. So I'll see you guys at 7:20. So let me clear the feedback before the break. Here we go. Okay. So as I told you before we went on break, that we will be looking at the last piece of this example, and that will be the update command. Update command is a little bit more complicated than any of the other commands. The reason is because you want to have a delete and a select combination with the update. And then you want to also update. Why am I saying that? Because in the delete, we got a drop-down box, right? The pre-populated drop-down box. We want to have something like that in the update. But as soon as somebody selects an item from the drop-down box, what I want to do next is I want the form to be filled with the rest of the information. So for example, if somebody picks course number 1, 2, 3, 4, I want the course name, the course description, and the credits to be all filled up. So these are 2 separate operations. The first operation is the filling of the drop-down box, The second operation is based on the content of the drop-down box, filling the rest of the form. Then you can make modifications into the form and hit update, and that will be the third operation, which will update and will throw you back on the same page so that you can see the updated data. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Okay, so that's why it gets to be slightly more complicated than the others. So to get started, I'm kind of thinking, which one of the two would be a better choice? Delete or insert? Just give me 1 minute here. I just lost a train of thought. So we have to build the least amount. You know what? I'm going to start with delete. Let me save the delete as update.jsp. Now here is another hiccup that I need to code for. So I get a drop-down box. And in this drop-down box, oh, I need to change this to update.js because okay, in this drop-down box, I select an ID, right? After I select an ID, I said, okay, I want to update this ID. So I click on the button update. So when it comes back and fills the rest of the form, which I will create at the bottom with the course name, the course description, the credits, I also need the same ID that I picked before selection in the drop-down box. You guys follow the complexity here? Because usually when you submit it back to the same page, the whole thing gets refreshed. So I want the same ID that I picked before I hit the refresh button, that I need the data for this one so I can update it. I want that same ID in the drop-down box. So that's one more thing I need to be concerned about here. So you know what I'll do is right here at the top of the if condition, right here, I'll declare a string called test. Request dot get parameter CID. The reason I'm calling it a test, because when the page loads for the first time and user has not yet selected any ID, the test will be empty. It will be null. If the test is null, that means I don't have to worry about refreshing the form with the same ID as selected by the user. If it is not null, then I need to worry about that. So that's why I'm using the test variable for that purpose. I hope it's making sense to you what I'm talking about here. Is it? Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Just want to make sure, I'm not talking to myself. Okay. So that's one thing. So I have my course ID selected. And now inside the while loop, where I'm populating the course ID, that's where I have to be also careful that after I grab my course ID in CID, if CID dot equals test, means the variable test up there, if they are the same, then I take one approach. If not, I take the other approach. That means the course ID that was originally submitted by the user matches the course ID that was there before the submission. If they match, then I have to take a different approach than if they don't. Okay. So if they don't match, then it's just like the first time deal, right? If they do match, then it's the same code, but one basic difference. And that is, I want this particular item to be selected. So I want the selected option to be true. And what selected option does, it selects that item in the drop-down box. So the item coming from the database and the item coming from the form, if they match, because that is the item that I want the rest of the data to be coming from, right? If they match, that means that particular item should be selected in the drop-down box. So CID is the course ID coming from the database based on the select command. And the test is the value of the drop-down box that was selected by the user. So we want that value to be on the selected value in the drop-down box. So that's one thing that we need to do. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Is everybody done with this? So instead of delete course, I'll just say load course information. Load course information. Load course information. And also please make sure that your form is coming back to update.jsp. Oh, I think Jack is still working on it. Okay. Oh, got it. Okay, cool. Now let's come down to after you grab the course ID, because the user selected an ID and hit the load button, and you have come over here and have made sure that it is not equals to null, and now you want to start populating it with some values, right? So instead of delete operation, you're doing a select command that I want to select the course name, the credits, and the description, right? That's what I call that. Those are my three fields, right? Yeah, DESC is what I call it. Okay. Credits and DESC. Course name, credits, and DESC. Okay, so I want to select course name, credits, and DESC from this project table where the course ID matches the course ID that's coming from the user. Once that's done, I need my result set object to hold that record, which is the rest of the details for that course. How many courses will have the same course ID?
None?
Only one course. Yeah, I mean, like, will be only one matching course. Nobody else will have the same ID, correct? So I do not have to loop through the results set because I know that there'll be one and only one matching record in the results set. So I can just simply ask the results set to give me your top record, and that'll be the only record, result set.next. Okay. What do I need to do next? I need to bring the data from the result set and put it in a form, which I will be generating here on the fly. Between the script, outside of the scriptlets, this is where my form will go. This form will hold the data that is ready to be updated. I will tell you what I'll be putting in the action shortly, but not right now. For now, leave the action empty. Now, what I'm about to show you next is very interesting information. So for now, I will wait here. And I will just put my reset and submit buttons. Okay. Whatever I'm about to put next, I will wait till everybody give me a go. The reason this step is a little bit trickier because my form will be getting its data from the database. So based on the incoming ID, each one of the text boxes will get its value from a database. That's why I wanted everybody to pay attention to this step, okay? So value will be equal to result set dot get string 1, like that. So I'm using the expression statement from JSP. So I'm asking the expression statement to ask the result set object from line number 81, which is now sitting on the very first record, the only record because of line 82, to go and grab me the very first value sitting in the record and assign that as a value to this text box. And then put that in quotes. Do you guys follow that? As opposed to hard coding a value, the value is coming from the database based on the selection I made on the drop-down box, okay? And likewise, I want the other two to be done the same way. So I have course description and credits, right? So this is course name. The second one is credits. The field name is credits. And its value will be based on the second value. And the description, its value will be based on the third value, because those are the only 3 values that I'm pulling from the table based on the course ID. So the first value goes in the first text box, second value goes in the second text box, and the third value goes in the third text box. So just make sure you modify your labels. We are halfway through. We are not 100% done yet. We have one more thing to do. Because we have done everything but update, right? So now that this form is filled with the data coming, and somebody will put the updated data here, and then we'll hit the submit button. And when they hit the submit button, we want this information to not go back to the same page. Rather, we'll create another page which will do the update job for us. So we're going to call that one update data.jsp, which we will code. We have not yet coded that page. So that page will receive everything from this page and will update it, and then will throw us back on this page. Let me clear your feedbacks. So once you guys are done with this, let me know, and then we will get started with update data.jsp page. Okay. Now open insert.jsp again and save it as update data .jsp. So insert.jsp, save it as update data.jsp. We don't need any of the styles on this one because this page will only be visited just temporarily, and then you'll be thrown back to where you came from. Okay, so it doesn't need that. It doesn't need site navigation. Or gateway class project, none of that stuff. Okay. Just want to make sure that you have come through the valid session. That's a requirement, right? It doesn't need a form. So I'm just also deleting the closing scriptlet and opening scriptlet. Okay. Remember that we are coming to this page from another page, which has a form in it, right? So that's why we need these lines. So the page, which will be the form that will be submitting itself to this page, will be sending in the course name, the credits, and the description. Here is another catch. Here's another catch. Do I need course ID on this page?
No.
No. Actually, I do. Why?
Because that's the record you're going to update.
Exactly. If I do not provide the course ID, this page wouldn't know what record I want to update. It'll update everybody, right? However, here's the problem. In my form that I'm submitting, I'm not really sending the course ID, am I? Look at it. This is the form that's getting submitted to the update data. But I'm not even sending the course ID. Right? I'm sending the course name, I'm sending the credits and the description. Why am I only doing those three fields? Because those are the only three fields I want to give the user the choice to update. I do not want user to be able to update the course ID. The course ID will remain what it is. But how is it possible for me to update something which I'm not even passing, or to get something on the other end which I'm not even passing? And this is how you do it. Now, you don't even have to use session variables. This is how you do it. You can create an input. You could name it whatever you want the other side to read, right? And its value will also be coming from JSP, like CID. We already have that variable from, where did I declare the CID variable? Yeah, right here from line 67, okay? However, I can keep the type hidden. So what type hidden does, the user will not see it on the web form, but the data will go to the server when the form gets submitted. The backend will get the value, the user will not see the value because it's a hidden form item. Okay. Follow that? Okay. So now we will go to update data, and it will give us all 4 items: the course ID, which is hidden, course name, credits, and description, which we gave user the choice to change. As long as none of these items are null, we establish what we want to establish, the whole 9 yards, nothing changes here, except for my SQL statement. My SQL statement will be about update now. So update, oops, course project, set. Okay, now I need to work with my fields that I created in my table: course name, credits, and description. So set course name to this value, comma, credits to this value, and description to this value, where the course ID equals to this value. So update the table, set this field to this value, comma, this field to this value, comma, this field to this value, where the course ID equals to that value. Once you run your update, you can redirect the user back to update.jsp. So as you guys complete this page, give me a green check. Okay, now let's test. So let me go to the update. Oops, let me log in again. Probably a session timed out. So let me go to update. And it is giving me all these IDs. So let me choose one of the 2 IDs and hit load. And see, it loaded all the course information. And let me change this to microcomputer. .NET programming. Advanced. Make it 4 credit. And click on update information. Okay, it comes back. Allow me to choose 1, 2, 3, 3. Load information. Notice it has all changed. If I go to select, it reflects the same change.
Mine doesn't load any of the information in.
Your update does not brings the drop-down box with pre-populated data.
I get the drop down box, but when I hit load, I
It did-
don't get any
You
data
don't get,
in those.
okay. Then we must revisit. Did you make sure that your first form has update.jsp as your action?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now let's scroll down to this line 67 is where we come when that happens. So line 70, we are only checking to see if CID is not equals to null.
Yep.
And then your select command also matches mine with the where clause.
Oh, that might have been it. Had a misspelling on description.
Ah, okay.
No, maybe I didn't. It says global variable not found.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
I think that'll be better. Just 1 second.
C shouldn't be there. There we go.
Okay, can you show me your output, please? Okay, just
Let
1
me
second.
refresh this. This is not right.
Okay.
I had a typo in there.
Go ahead and click on a different link. Let's say go to insert and then come back to update.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
click
only
on,
have one in there right now.
yeah. Click the update.
Okay.
Choose that from the drop-down box.
I only have the one in there right now.
Yeah, so you have to have it selected. Yeah, and then hit
Okay.
update. Okay, so that's not coming up with anything. Okay, so how about you go back to insert and insert one more record. Okay, let's go to update. No, it's not. Okay, so now let's go to update.jsp and let's have a look at it as to why it is not loading. Okay, let's keep scrolling down. Okay, course name, credits, description from course project day, where course ID equals. So looks like your course ID, CID, is not making its way. Okay, scroll back up a little bit. Okay, more.
You going?
Yes, yes, yes. Keep going. Yeah, stop. So, okay, that's also valid. You are calling it CID. Okay, scroll down now. That's fine. And okay, keep coming down. Okay. You know what? On line number 69, can you click on line 69 and just type over there out.println CID. Out.println, and then first type in double quotes CID. Yeah, in double quotes, type CID colon space. Oh, colon, not semicolon, colon space. Okay, outside the double quotes, put a concatenation symbol and type CID. Okay, now go to the end of the line and semicolon. Okay, save the changes and go ahead, go to your update page. Okay, and go to select and then go back to update. And now, oh, okay, now I know. Now pick one of the IDs from the list and hit update again. Okay, so it is reading 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Can you go back to the list? No. To the drop down list. Yeah, choose 1405 and hit update. Okay, cool. So it's changing. Okay, go back to your update.jsp. So we know that line number 69 is not a problem. So let's comment out line 69. Okay, so we know that line 71 will go through because that is not null. Okay, now let's keep coming down. Okay, so select course name, comma credits, comma description from course project 22A, where course ID equals to CID. Okay, and then you're running your result set. Execute query, and okay. And now we are saying your result set. Okay, can you copy line number 69 without the comments? Okay, and paste it on after line 82.
So he has semicolons in the scriptlets,
Oh,
Here?
yep, that's it.
and
It was
Thank
giving
you.
me an error when I didn't have it.
do you
Maybe it
need an
wasn't.
equals also?
Yeah, you're missing
Oh.
equals. Yeah. Okay. Yep, that's it. Thank you. That was a good catch.
Thank you, Greg.
No problem.
That's it.
Ha.
And now update some of the information. Oops. Okay. Update was not valid. Set call drop free. Oh, okay. Go back to your update data.jsp. Okay. Oh, it's misspelled the word update on line 33.
Did I?
On line 33. Yeah. Okay. Also, is your field called CDESC? Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
The field name in the actual table?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Now save the changes and go back to yeah. Hit the back browser button and then hit the button again, the cursor. Yeah. Okay. I don't think so. You have the
What?
column CDSC. It's, I think it's only DS. Can you go to your create table .jsp page? Yeah. See, you called it.
Oh, there I
DSP.
did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So go
My
back
bad.
to update and drop the C. Yep. Okay. And then go back, hit the back browser, and then hit the button. Yeah. Here you go. Now click select. Okay, the information got updated.
Thank you.
And then you can hit the log out button to log out.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
No problem. So basically, guys, this is basically the bare basic model on which your project will be done. And you will be implementing this based on your project. Even Josh's cat is so happy. Like, yeah, I got it.
Like the homepage, you could just display some information that's just relating to your topic that you're choosing.
Absolutely. You
type
know,
of thing.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. I just, again, you know, I just gave you guys the basic flow.
Right.
Yeah. And then you will, you know, use the same model to create yours. And you can add information and make it pretty and whatever.
Got it.
Okay. And by the way, you can't recycle the pizza boxes, right?
I don't know.
Because they have food residues on them.
Yeah. I think so. I know that was a rule in Texas.
Oh, there isn't any rule like that in Texas. Okay.
No, there is a rule in
There is a
Texas
rule,
on that. Yeah.
okay.
The recycle bins have a little like table printed on them of what you can and can't recycle.
Oh. Cool, cool. Okay, so what I will do is I will set aside the remaining class time for you to work on your project and try to incorporate this logic into your project. And if you need any help, you let me know, and I'm here. So I'll stop the recording.